Will TSA see a Xanax pill in my Advil bottle? International flight. Places you don't take illegal non-prescription drugs. Philippines and Russia. Literally anywhere else would either not notice, care, consequence is there but not, Philippines. There. Don't do it. If you get anxious flying, your anxiety will be far higher in a Philippine prison, I promise. If you absolutely can't fly without it, honestly talk to your doctor when you get back. Take one and don't draw any sort of attention to yourself at all. I would not advise traveling with a few sprinkled in an Advil bottle. When I returned from Mexico to Canada, they emptied my Advil on a tray and tested one. The odds of the Philippine security finding one pill on a full bottle are low. But the consequences are very, very high. I haven't been to the Philippines specifically, but I have spent a lot of time in Asia and it is definitely a FAFO place. Being found with any amount of the wrong drug in your possession will land your ass in jail, and Asian jails are not comfy at all. Most Asian countries see no difference between a banned cold medication and heroin, so be careful. I would advise to research if Advil and Xanax are both legal there, and if they are, go to the effort of getting a small prescription from your doctor for travel purposes. Before you fill it, photocopy it, as you may be asked for proof for any medication you bring into the country. I have extensive experience in importing prescriptions into Asian countries, and I was often asked for copies of my original prescription after my bag was searched and my bottles found. This may be a crazy idea, but why not just ask your physician for a prescription for 34 pills? You're not asking for a whole lot of them. You explain that you have anxiety when traveling, and unless you have a history of abusing medications like this, I can imagine they would say no. I have several friends who have to take something before they can fly, and none of their doctors have ever questioned it. Why take the risk of them finding unprescribed controlled substances in a foreign country? You can definitely bring Xanax in the country because it is a legal prescription drug here. However, for you to do that, you need the Xanax to be in its original packaging, and you must have an accompanying doctor's prescription for the Xanax stating the dosage and its indicated use. If you cannot furnish any of those requirements I mentioned above, then you cannot bring those with you in the country. I hope this helps. See you on Banged Up Abroad 07. The Philippines is not a country you want to get caught with drugs in. A drug-sniffing dog could potentially catch it. Risk equals chance multiplied by consequences. How big is the chance of getting caught? I honestly don't think it's huge. I've traveled all over the world with all kinds of prescription meds, and I've never gotten the doctor's letter out of my bag. I've never needed it. The chance is never zero though. What are the consequences? Philippine jail and legal system. That sounds like a terribly huge risk to me. I would advise you to talk to your doctor to get a very short prescription, or don't bring anything at all. I wouldn't be concerned about TSA. I'd be concerned about ending up on an episode of Locked Up Abroad. Well, since you're not listening to reason, take them with you and take the chance of going to a prison in the Philippines. Your choice, my friend. Maybe you haven't heard, but people get executed for drugs in the Philippines. Doesn't seem worth it to me. Can you really not get a prescription? My GP is very anti-benzodiazepine but still accepts to prescribe Xanax for one-off situations like fear of flying. Don't do it. Some of these countries still hang people for smuggling drugs. I did this once when I was younger and got lucky and didn't get caught. Definitely wouldn't risk it though. Don't do it. Huge fines and punishments for illegal drugs overseas. especially the Philippines. Either get an actual prescription that you can bring with you, or get good at deep breathing and relaxation exercises in advance. If they have a policy to kill anyone with drugs, you should reconsider taking anything that they can interpret as a drug. You're going to pop a Xanax before a flight? And you don't have prescription for it? And you're bringing illegal drugs into the Philippines? Lol, I would advise you to deal with your anxiety without smuggling drugs across borders. Even just one pill. It's not worth it and you might have a problem. Honestly, don't think they will find it, but if they do a random search, if they find anything on you, you might get hefty fines, travel ban, etc. It's definitely not worth it. Edit. Being stoned at the airport is also a really dumb thing to do. It's important to not miss gates and times. Being high, stoned might make you miss stuff you should miss while at an airport. If you don't have a prescription for a controlled substance, don't bring it across international borders, especially countries with life or death penalties for trafficking. Just because others do it all the time doesn't mean you should. Especially if it's just anxiety. If you take a pill for anxiety, then you'll never deal with anxiety naturally until you get off the pills. Just ask your doctor for a prescription. Do not fly into South Asia with illegal drugs. Just get a prescription for flight anxiety. My doctor prescribes Xanax for me specifically for flights. My youngest lives across the country and I tag along on some of my husband's work trips. I love to travel, but hate to fly. I get it prescribed only once or twice per year and only use it when I fly. Can you get a prescription?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.